Welcome to the FCPA training series from Corporate Compliance Insights featuring CCI founder Maurice Gilbert and Tom Fox of Tom Fox Law. Tom has practiced law for 25 years and is now assisting companies with FCPA compliance, risk management, and international transactions. Tom writes and speaks around the world on a variety of topics ranging from FCPA compliance, indemnities, and other forms of risk management. The videos in this series provide an introduction to FCPA compliance for legal, compliance, and operations personnel. Please note, the information should not be considered all-inclusive, and we encourage viewers to seek professional advice prior to implementing any compliance program. So let's get started.
I'm Maurice Gilbert with Corporate Compliance Insights, and joining me in the studio today is Tom Fox of Tom Fox Law. Today we'll be discussing special topics under the FCPA. Tom, we often hear about facilitation payments from time to time. What exactly are these?
Sure. Facilitation payments are also known as grease payments. Probably the best definition I can give you, as I was putting on training in Italy once, and the Italians were trying to translate facilitation into Italian, and the word came back was oil. And I thought, what a fabulous word for name for a facilitation payment. Oil, grease, something to grease the skids. But the key, though, is that facilitation payments are exempted from the FCPA. It's not accepted out. They're completely exempted. The government has recognized that there are a small class of payments that you can make to obtain routine government services, such as going in and out of a country, obtaining licenses and permits, obtaining fire protection, obtaining police protection, perhaps armed forces protection. But there's several important points that companies need to remember in connection with facilitation payments. The first is they must be relatively small. Unfortunately, the government has given us no specific guidance on what that amount might be. The lowest amount we've seen of a facilitation payment in an enforcement action is $3,000. So I can have some comfort in telling you that's not a facilitation payment. Nevertheless, if it's an amount less than that, it may be a facilitation payment and therefore exempted out. On the other hand, it may not be. So the first point is they have to be relatively small. The second point is they have to be for routine government services. Or put another way, for a service that you're going to get anyway, you're just getting it quicker. So the best example I can give you there is if you're going into a country, you have your passport, you have your visa, perhaps your shot card, and you give that to a customs officer in a country in the immigration hall, and he puts your passport at the bottom of 50 and says, "Thank you very much, have a seat, I'll get to you when I get to you." But if you have $20 in there, you magically go to the top of the line and you go through customs. That's a classic facilitation payment. That customs official was going to let you into that country eventually. He's just doing it faster or more expeditiously because of your facilitation payment. But the key is that the facilitation payment must be accurately recorded as a line item. So companies need to have a specific line item that says facilitation payment, the amount, the purpose of the facilitation payment. Obviously, this can create problems because in some countries, facilitation payments may violate local domestic anti-bribery or anti-corruption laws. And you've created not only a paper trail, but the actual evidence that can be used to convict you. Nevertheless, to comply with FCPA, facilitation payments absolutely, positively must be documented. So once again, we get to go back to document, document, document. Those are the three key points of the facilitation payment. They must be for routine governmental services, they must be a relatively small amount, and for FCPA accounting purposes, they must be a specific line item documentation of the facilitation payment, the amount, the purpose for the payment, and those records must be kept and made available to government regulators who may come knocking.
Tom, thanks for joining us, and we welcome you back for the next in our FCPA video series. Thanks for joining us today, and remember, before implementation of your own FCPA compliance program, you may wish to seek professional advice. Also, as a reminder, please visit us online at corporatecomplianceinsights.com.